Hi, my name is Karen Bierland, and I have the honor of serving House of Friendship as board chair. Welcome to this incredible friendship dinner tonight. Welcome. You know, every year this night feels really special. We walk into this room from our busy lives, work, family, errands, and the rush of it all, and then we sit down together and something shifts. The noise fades away just a little. The warmth settles in, and suddenly you can feel it. The sense of belonging that reminds us that we are all part of something bigger. That's the power of friendship, not just the word, but the action. It's the smile shared across the table, the hand extended in welcome, the simple truth that we need each other. This evening is about celebrating that connection, the ways we show up for one another, and the hope that grows when we do. When I think about House of Friendship, I think about the quiet, consistent ways that this organization has been serving alongside the community for decades, often without fanfare, but always with heart. Tonight, as we gather, you'll be reminded of our roots, of where our values and compassion began. From small, humble beginnings, House of Friendship has always been about neighbors helping neighbors, about ordinary people coming together to meet a need, to lend a hand, and to remind one another that no one walks alone. Over the years, as we all know, our city has changed, our challenges have grown, and yet one thing has remained the same: the belief that this community is powerful. So thank you for being here and for being part of this important story. We have a beautiful evening ahead, filled with reflection, gratitude, and inspiration. And we're so grateful you are here with us tonight as we honor not only our 86 years of history, but John Neufeld's 16 years of bold, innovative, and compassionate leadership. We would like to begin our time together by acknowledging the traditional lands on which we gather today. Please welcome Clarence Kakagi to provide tonight's territorial acknowledgement with some personal reflections. Clarence?
Well, how's everybody doing tonight? Pretty amazing group of people to acknowledge a pretty amazing man. And 16 years. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I'm going to talk a little bit about more of that after, but what I want to do is I want to open this up. I want to open this up in a way that I was always taught to. So I'm going to say a little prayer. I'm going to say a little prayer, and I'm going to acknowledge some things that I can see, some things we can't see. And then I'm going to smudge. Then I'm going to say some words about John. And then I'm going to sing a song. I'm going to sing an honor song to honor the amazing, amazing work that John has done for us in our community for the past 16 years. Wache, Ani, Boju, Sego. I am Kiwe Tenwe in the Ne. That name translates to North Windman. I'm from the people of the Mushkegawak, people of the river, Chapleau Cree First Nation Bear Clan, and I am a beautiful spirit. I'd like to give thanks for this day. I'd like to give thanks for this life. I'd like to give thanks for all the relationships that we have, all the partnerships that we have. I'd also like to give thanks to our community, to our region. I'd like to give thanks for time, and I'd also like to give thanks to the fire and the water. And now I want to go a bit deeper and talk about our connectedness. I'd like to acknowledge our connectedness to the sun and the moon and the stars and beyond. I'd like to acknowledge our connectedness to the two-leggeds, to the four-leggeds, to the winged ones and the swimmers and the crawlers. I'd like to acknowledge our connectedness to those four winds and acknowledge how those winds bring balance to creation. And also acknowledge how that north wind is a healing wind. And then as we acknowledge the wind, I'd like to acknowledge the standing ones, the trees, and say thank you to everything that those trees bring and give us in regards to clean air, in regards to fire, safety, warmth, ceremony, homes, lodges, paper. And I'm very grateful for toilet paper. Very grateful. And then, as we acknowledge the trees, I'd just like to acknowledge all the plants in creation and say thank you. And then I'd like to acknowledge all the medicines. And then I'd like to acknowledge our oldest relatives, which are the rocks and the minerals and the mountains and the rivers and the streams and the oceans, all as equals within that circle of life. As we come together today, I always ask that we remember our ancestors, those ones that came before we did in our families, our great, 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 great grandparents. And we acknowledge the hardships and the barriers and the prayers that they said in order for us to be here today. And as we acknowledge our ancestors, I just ask that we acknowledge our spirit helpers. We always acknowledge our parents in a good light, our grandparents in a good light. We always say thank you to the Creator. And we always acknowledge our mother, the earth, in a good way because she gives us everything that we need to sustain life. Oh. So that's the way I pray. And I was holding tobacco in my hand. I was holding tobacco in my hand because that was the first medicine that was gifted to us so that we'll always have the ability to stay connected to the one who created everything. I'm gonna smudge. And maybe John would like to come up here and smudge with me. What do you think? Now, life is all about relationships, and life is all about energy, and life is all about vibrations. Life is all about medicine, to me. This medicine that I'm holding in my hand right here is called sweetgrass. We call it wingush. Represents a hair of our mother, the earth. A very kind and very gentle medicine. It always takes 3 braids to make one of these braids. And each of those 3 braids represent mind, body, and spirit. And then there's 21 strands of grass in each one of these braids. The first 7 strands of grass represent those ones in our family, those 7 generations in our families that came before we did. It represents the hardships, the barriers, the struggles, but it also represents the prayers that they said in order for us to be here today. And then the 7 strands of grass that come next are foundational teachings of the 7 grandfathers, which are humility, honesty, truth, bravery, wisdom, love, and respect. And the last 7 strands of grass represent all of our responsibility to those 7 generations in our families that aren't here yet, to make sure that when they come, they have everything that they need: clean air, land, water, healthcare, education, and more. But when you put this all together, what this represents is kindness, the medicine of kindness. And it runs parallel with this man right here, John Neufeld. He has shown me unconditional love. He has shown me kindness. He has shown me empathy. And he has shown me a new way to work a room. But John and I started our journeys at the House of Friendship around the same time. He was starting his journey as the executive director, and I was starting my journey at King and Marshall at 174 King. What a journey. I would never have thought that journey would have led me to here. But I'm so grateful for that. And I couldn't have done that without this community. So I'm grateful for all of you, what you represent, what you offer, and how we show other communities that unconditional love that we have, how we can thrive and grow. So it's an honor for me to be a part of this community. It's an honor for me to call John Neufeld my brother. Our paths were different, but in time, we ended up on the same path. And that's as helpers in this community. Many times I've gone to John. I've sat with him. I've shared my concerns. I've shared my fears. I've shared my risk. But John would always bring it back to me. He would bring it back to him. He would talk about his personal journeys. And he'd always give me hope. Hope. So I can't thank him enough for the work that he has done in our community, for me and others. And I want to wish him well as he makes that transition to that next phase with the Hallman Foundation. Now, as some of you know, the Crow is very close to me. It's our family totem. It watches over us. So this is a medallion that I had made for me, and what I want to do is I want to offer it to John and have the Crow watch over him and his family as he goes on this next transition in his life. So if everybody could stand, I'm going to sing an honor song. Thank you very much. If you can stand. You can sit down now. And that song sings about hearing the eagle, seeing the eagle, and taking the eagle with us in our hearts. So I want to wish everybody a great night, a blessed night. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for giving your time. We believe the best gift any of us can give is our time, because it's a piece of our life that we're never going to get back. Can we give John a big round?
Wow. Thank you, Clarence. Thank you so very much. So, to shift to our tables for a moment, right at each place setting, you'll see a little card. Pick it up and, yep, that's the one. Yep. And you'll see a bowl in the center of the table as well. We invite you to take a moment this evening to write a note. You can write a card to John, sharing a memory, words of encouragement, or a note of appreciation as he embarks on this next chapter of his journey. Or we invite you to write a card that will become part of a community scrapbook. celebrating the work we continue to do together. These cards will help us reflect on our shared legacy and inspire us as we continue to grow for tomorrow. Place your card in the bowl at your table before the end of the evening, please. Your words will be a meaningful part of tonight, honoring both John and the spirit of community that brings us together. I must say, we are so grateful to have each and every one of you with us tonight. And we want to take a moment to recognize who's in the room, because you are what makes this community so very special. To each group, please make yourselves known in the room as I call upon you, and let's see who can be the very loudest. First, a warm welcome to our dignitaries and elected officials. Thank you for being here and for the leadership you bring to our community. Next, welcome to all of our amazing community partners, the charities, organizations, and agencies who walk alongside us. To our dedicated board of directors. They're a bit of a humble bunch. We also want to celebrate our incredible staff and volunteers here tonight. Woo! And last, but definitely not least, our amazing donors, friends, advocates, and supporters. You make this work possible, and tonight is for you. Thank you. Next, I'd like to express our deepest appreciation to our incredible sponsors. So please hold your applause until the end. Our presenting sponsor is RBJ Schlegel Family Foundation. Thank you for your unwavering support for the people we serve. Thank you to our Transform sponsors, St. Jacobs Furnishings and Strasburger Windows and Doors. Thank you to our Inspire sponsors, Bondi and Associates, Urban Good Family Funeral Home, Hurley's Country Farm Market, and Lease Pet Distributing. Thank you to our Hope sponsors, Henry Walser Funeral Home, Joslin Insurance, MHBC Planning, Urban Design, and Landscape Architecture. Thank you to our community sponsors, Conrad Grable, University College, and Network Telecom. And thank you to the businesses who donated or discounted products and services for tonight. Bingaman's, Sherwood Systems, Arcade Design and Print, Wellesley Brand Apple Products, and Color Paradise Greenhouses. Please join me in showing our appreciation to all of our wonderful sponsors. And I'd like to take a moment to share some housekeeping details. This evening, the wonderful Bingaman staff will be serving our three-course meal. Coffee and tea and water will be served at your table. You're welcome to enjoy complimentary cider or purchase additional refreshments in the Heritage Room through the doors at the back. The washrooms are available at the right of the Heritage Room. On behalf of all members of the board, staff, and the many volunteers and ambassadors who serve with great joy and humility, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time and your talent. Thank you for sharing your financial help. Thank you for your partnership as we bring about changes in a complex and challenging environment. Thank you for walking with us into the future as we build health and belonging. So, as we prepare for a wonderful evening together, may we begin with these words of gratitude. For the work and wisdom of all who have gone before us, we give thanks. For the witness and will of all here gathered, stronger together, we give thanks. For what we are about to receive, nourishment for body, mind, and spirit, fueling the hope of a healthy community where everyone can belong and thrive, we give thanks. We now have a fun video surprise for John as we begin our dinner service. Now, would a surprise not be absolutely appropriate for our dear John? Enjoy.
Neufeld, congratulations. We're proud that you're an alumnus of Conrad Grebel.
Bro, John, an inspiration on so many levels.
John, is that what you're wearing?
We appreciate you as leaders way more than any egg salad sandwich.
John always tells me, could be magic, could be tragic.
The Schlegel family would like to thank you for your outstanding leadership to the House of Friendship.
He always brings Michelle lunch.
At our leadership meetings, he brings me lunch.
She's obviously the favorite because I've never gotten lunch.
They keep saying I'm the favorite. We know who's the favorite here.
You are the jewel in KW's crown.
As you can see by our sweaters, we don't always agree on everything.
But we do agree that you have been the right CEO for the House of Friendship over the past 16 years.
We're here to tell you all the things we love about John Neufeld.
Just joking, John. John, this is one of my favorite memories of you. You're doing what you always do. You're just out helping wherever needed.
John, what a journey it's been. I'll never forget the time we were filming a video and I joked about surprising you with a call from the Premier. You laughed, paused, and said, only if he's bringing coffee and a shovel, that's John.
John is very hands-on and is very interactive.
Hey, Brother John, as 1,000 of your best friends gather tonight to bid you farewell at this service, dinner.
Hi, John. Jessica and Matthew Bondi here. We're so proud of everything you've done at House of Friendship.
You know everyone's name. All of us are wishing you all the best.
You've made it so that leadership isn't just about strategy. It feels like with you, it's about soul.
There aren't many leaders I would refer to as having gravitas. John, you are just such a leader.
You're doing tremendous things, and I know you will continue to do tremendous things.
Hey, John. Thank you for inspiring me and encouraging me over the years.
You could woo a crowd or woo the person in front of you, but you would always engage with a sincere heart.
Just remember, no matter where you go, we all still have your phone number.
Wow, 16 years just flew by. What a legacy you have left.
Take 24. The first week at House of Friendship, you passed by me in the hallway. You called me by name. Seems like a small gesture, but I felt dignified, valued, and included in the House of Friendship team within the first week.
I am truly grateful, John, and appreciative of the time that we've had.
He does things like, during the pandemic, he delivered a stand-up desk to my house in the back of his car so I'd be more comfortable.
He comes at situations always from a place of grace and compassion.
John has a way of making everyone feel so comfortable. When he walks in a room, he gives everyone a big hug.
On behalf of all members of the Waterloo Regional Police Service, past, present, and future, we're so grateful for your incredible leadership, for your vision, and your inspiration to us all.
He just greets you by your name. He's so energized by knowing people. And
I am proud of you, and I am thankful to have you as my dad.
Dad, you've instilled into me a sense of justice and compassion and the importance of affording dignity to my neighbors in my community. I'm excited for what's next, and I love you lots.
Hi, I'm Andrea Shantz Neufeld, and I've had the privilege of being married to John for the past 28 years. You have been an incredible role model and inspiration to myself and our children, modeling that you can be fully committed to your work while still honoring what matters most in life.
You know, one of the things that I always envied about my brothers Yes, they could put 2 fingers in their mouth and whistle from here to Florida almost. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, thank you. I can't do that, so thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed dinner as much as everyone at our table did. It was lovely. Thank you, Bingamans. And as I'm sure the company around the table was even better. So, at this point, I am truly honored to introduce tonight's speaker. Someone whose name has become deeply woven into the story of House of Friendship. For more than a decade, John Neufeld has led with heart, with vision, compassion, and a steadfast belief in what's possible when people come together for one another. Through moments of challenge and celebration, John has reminded us that community isn't built by programs or buildings, but by people, kindness, and courage. Under his leadership, House of Friendship has not only grown, but it has deepened, staying true to its roots while reaching further to meet the needs of today and of tomorrow. His influence can be seen in the lives changed, the partnerships formed, and the hope that has continued to radiate across this community. As John prepares to turn the page to his next chapter, we pause tonight with deep gratitude for his vision, his faith in what we can achieve together, and the legacy he built upon. Tonight, as John shares his reflections, we're invited to look back on the journey that's brought us here and to look ahead for what's still to come. Please join me in welcoming our CEO for the last time, John Neufeld.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Please.
The longer you do this, the more of the Jays game you'll miss. Thank you. It means a lot to have you all here. The story begins in the shadows of World War II. A young mother left alone with her baby. Poverty, hunger, survival. Somehow, she made it through. Left alone with her baby after her husband was taken away in the war. That little boy grew up to be a man in Kazakhstan. Never knowing where his father was until he was 10 years old. His father was discovered in Canada, a whole world away. He became a man in Kazakhstan as an ambulance driver. He married a nurse, and together they dreamed of a new life with their 2 children. Year after year, they applied to be reunited with their family in Canada, and the answer was always the same on the Russian side: no. Until finally in 1979, the application was approved. Except it was just for him and his 5-year-old son for a 40-day visit to Canada. When they landed in Canada, the son met his Opa and Oma for the first time. Everything was new. Milk from a plastic bag, soft buns from the oven, the roar of Niagara Falls, and even the aisles of a toy store. His eyes were wide open, his father's as well. In 1981, the whole family was reunited and everything seemed possible. That son had been taught that life was all about community. Everyone needs each other to survive. Belonging wasn't optional. It's the way you lived. But in Canada on the playground, he discovered a different kind of world. One where belonging wasn't guaranteed. And for a boy who had come from the wrong country at the wrong time, the messages was harsh and constant. Being called names like dumb Russian, told he was worthless, and told that he was the enemy. That son carried those words with him. While wanting nothing more than to desperately fit in, made to feel small, he acted out in ways he only knew how. Until one day, he came face to face with the disappointment of his parents, who had sacrificed everything for him. And in that moment, something shifted. That boy, the son of Hans and Ekaterina Neufeld and brother to Irina, is me. When you see this photo of me, three-piece brown suit, bowl cut, beautiful bike with the banana seat, rear view mirror, headlight, you're probably thinking he's got it all. But it was a challenging time, and my story isn't mine alone. It's the story of so many in our community. Friends, neighbors who wake up each day longing to be seen, to be heard, to belong. It's the painful stories of lives touched by the absence of compassion, by exclusion, by injustice, and by the erosion of dignity. And yet, even in that darkness, there is light, hope. Hope that someone will reach out with compassion, that inclusion will not be a privilege but a given, that justice will be more than a word, and dignity more than a dream. This is the hope that House of Friendship has carried since 1939, when a women's prayer group first began finding and feeding those in need. From that simple, radical, gracious act of hospitality grew a legacy, a community where compassion, inclusion, justice, dignity, hope are not just our values, but the way we live. It's also this legacy that reminds the people that come through our doors, you are seen, you belong, you have a voice. So how do you go from a heartbroken boy on the playground to having a privilege of serving at House of Friendship for 16 years? Well, as I grew up, life began slowly to shift. In middle school, yes, I have the same haircut since middle school. What's that, Chantel? It still looks great. I appreciate that feedback. In middle school, I found a few friends, became more involved in my faith community, and was started to be given small leadership roles that gave me a sense of belonging that I had so deeply longed for. By high school, I had a really good circle of friends and space where my ethnicity no longer marked me as different. I was finally just another teenager And I discovered something about myself in that time. I loved bringing people together to make a difference. I started to understand that purpose wasn't just about fitting in, it was about stepping up. Purpose is not just about fitting in, but stepping up. Through it all, my family were my buffers for me. My parents, my opa and oma, my cousin Anna, and my sister Irina. They were a steady presence reminding me that no matter the world outside, that I had a strong foundation of love at home. By the way, that nurse, my mom, just turned 85 this month and is with us here tonight, along with Irina and Anna. But life wasn't a straight path. In grade 13, yes, we needed 13 years back then to the young people in the crowd. And with immigrant parents, the message was the same. Get a government job, have stability, safe and predictable future. I tried. I really, really did. I was going to be a math teacher, but calculus and algebra were no friends of mine at the university level. So out of gratitude for my faith community, I went to Winnipeg to study theology for a year, thinking I had life figured out. But sometimes life has a way of humbling you. Heartbreak, confusion, and a new environment where I didn't know how to think for myself forced me to grow in ways I hadn't expected. 1 year turned to 3, and those years were transformative. I began volunteering at Stony Mountain Penitentiary, where I was paired with an Indigenous inmate and started to witness firsthand the impacts of systemic injustice. I will never forget that first visit, walking through 3 levels of security, stepping into the visitation room. I looked around and couldn't ignore what I saw. So many Indigenous men. And that's where I met Oren, the man I was matched up with to visit every 2 weeks. He was living 800 kilometers away from his community, alienated from his culture, his family. Oren changed the way I saw the world. His story, his resilience, opened my eyes to the systems that fail people long before they end up behind bars. We all have those moments that shape us, that change us, that motivate us. And this moment set me on a path and journey I couldn't ignore, a life committed to justice and serving others. I came to Waterloo Region in 1995 and immediately fell in love with this community. But more importantly, I fell in love with Andrea Shantz, who supported me and been my best friend for the past 30 years. And she gave us the greatest gift of all, Micah and Michaela. This is what our family looked like the month before I started at House of Friendship. And Micah and Michaela are still relatively cute, but now in their 20s, they spend more of their time reminding their father how truly mediocre he is. But I love you dearly. I wanted to stay in Waterloo Region, but didn't get into the MSW program locally and had to move to Toronto. It's okay, Laurier, I've almost forgiven you. Finishing my MSW program and about to get married, I needed a job. The answer came in a phone call from Ron Driediger inviting me to Bridgeway Family Homes to work with children and youth in foster care. Those were 11 incredible years. It's where I learned about leadership, the importance of culture, and always to innovate. And I am incredibly, deeply honored that my executive director, Cheryl Sutherland, and supervisor, Patricia Aitchison, are here with us tonight. Through it all, my roots, my faith, my community, and my early experience with belonging and exclusion guided me. Ultimately, it's what led me to House of Friendship, a place where everything I had learned, everything I had hoped for could come to life. But picture this, it's 2009, I'm 35 years old, just given the role, and I'm sitting in my office at 51 Charles, and all I can think is, wow, I just pulled a big one over the board of directors that just hired me. And now, what am I going to do? I hate this picture, but apparently it was supposed to convey how confused and lost I looked in 2009. Not like confidence or competence. That is why they chose that picture. So you're welcome. I did what my friend Mark Weber suggested. Send the signal that you want to hear from everyone, especially the people you serve. And that's what I did. I went on a listening tour. I visited every program site, talked to staff members, and spent time with the people we serve. At the time, we had about 100 staff. I listened with honesty, with curiosity, and with heartfelt compassion, allowing people to share what was working, what was hard, and what they dreamed our organization could be. I didn't know the first thing about addiction treatment, food insecurity, community development, or housing. I still remember sitting in my interview when they asked me about the Women's Addiction Treatment Program. At the time, the program was in a building that had a 90-day lease and could be shut down at any time. It wasn't long into my time where I realized this is no longer a theoretical question, this is a reality. And so our team members gave generously of their time, they shared their stories, their knowledge, they educated me, they challenged me, and they trusted me with their lived wisdom. I wasn't an expert. All I had to offer was curiosity. And when you bring curiosity with compassion, it is amazing what people will share. I heard about the stigma, the shame, the pain people carried because of their addiction. And I could see the longing for spaces that were truly dignified to begin healing. Our staff were living and breathing this work daily, holding hope, creating belonging, and offering the chance to begin again. Out of those conversations, it became clear that we needed to take a bold step forward. And so that's in 2011, we found ourselves buying a building on Ann Street. The price tag, $1 million. For us at the time, it felt terrifying, but we knew it was the right thing to do because if we could provide a space that was dignified, accessible, and safe, we could begin to remove that so many families carried. We knew that the tools and approaches of the past wouldn't be enough to meet the challenges of today. I'll never forget a young woman who once brought her mom to our old treatment center. Later, when her mom relapsed, she brought her to the new treatment center. But this time, it was to Ann Street. Instead of shame, she felt pride. That moment showed me the power of dignity. We wanted a space that was safe and caring, a place where no one would feel embarrassed or judged for seeking help. Spaces like that exist for all other areas of healthcare, and we knew addiction deserved the same treatment, respect, and compassion. When a facility feels dignified and supportive, stigma begins to give way to healing. And once the community visited that building, the conversations continued. Community members would walk through me and then they'd whisper to me, "John, I know what you're doing here." And then they would share a story about their aunt, a brother, an uncle, a friend. Addiction wasn't some far-off issue. It was here, close to home, woven into the lives of our neighbors. And that's when I realized part of our work was about changing the conversation in our community. It was about showing that addiction is a health issue, that people deserve treatment with dignity. To truly serve our community, our response had to continue to adapt, evolve, and grow, just as we had always done. So we built on our dreams, and our team felt empowered to bring ideas forward, including the plans for a new men's program a few years later. But then the fire happened. To meet the growing need in our community, we had set out to build a men's live-in addiction treatment program. And just 2 months before our building at 562 Concession was set to open, someone deliberately set it ablaze. In an instant, all the planning, the hope, the months of work felt destroyed. It was devastating. But even in that moment of anger, fear, and disbelief, one thing became clear. Our community is extraordinary. The love, support, and encouragement that we received in the days that followed, people stepping up, checking in, offering help, still blows me away till this day. The solidarity, the resilience would carry us forward. It's simple, almost hard to believe, but House of Friendship was built by this community for this community. And that resilience and faith didn't just rebuild walls, it rebuilt lives. I'll never forget seeing Damien at a recent Addictions alumni barbecue. He had been through our addiction program years ago, and at the time, his marriage was strained and his relationship with his kids was at risk. But now, years later, there he was, with his wife, celebrating with their children, their daughters recently finishing college and university. His family was thriving, happy, whole. Seeing that transformation, that impact, that is the power of this community.
I'm Michelle Kennedy. I'm the Addiction Services Director. What I love about House of Friendship and what gives me hope when there's challenges is I really feel like we truly care. We talk about the people we serve regularly at all different levels, and we truly care about the service that they get. They're always at the core of the mission.
We have a lot of different programs, and I think what's really great is that each of the programs provide unique services that are meeting people where they're at, wherever they are in their recovery journey.
We've grown from a long-term men's-only abstinence-based program into a range of services and addiction services. We've included now a health initiatives team. We have a RAM clinic. We have other external partners flowing in and out of that program to support. We've really got the whole range of services and programs. I just feel like we couldn't be more supported in how we care for people here at House of Friendship and the great work that we do.
I think what's been so pivotal and huge is who works at House of Friendship. Just being so inspired by the staff. Like, they're just amazing and compassionate and go the extra mile always.
We want to be able to serve people with the needs that they have, and we want to really understand the needs that they're currently experiencing. Recognizing that addictions is a health-related problem, and if you had any other health-related problem, you would access primary care to help solve that problem. And it needs to be a part of the care of the folks we serve. So when times are heavy, I remember those things. Like, I think about, is the work hard? Is it constant? Do people need big time supports a lot? Yes, all those things are true, and it's heavy and hard sometimes. And we have hope, we care, we have access, we walk alongside, we're person-centered, and we never lose sight of the person that we serve.
In my first few days at House of Friendship, back on my listening tour, I was visiting 807 Guelph Street. At the time, it felt like a rundown warehouse, not exactly a welcoming space. I remember thinking, this is where people come for help, and this is the environment we're giving them. It struck me that the physical spaces where we provide services are a direct reflection of how we value the people we serve. And at one time, better than nothing was a consideration, but we wanted to dream bigger. Our services don't have to be just better than nothing. They can change people's lives. They can be so much bigger than just a service, just a transaction. By 2010, the numbers were staggering. We were going from 25,000 to 33,000 food hampers that year, far more than the space could handle. We needed to transform 807 Guelph Street. And the conversations amongst our team were similar to our addiction team. We can't use the tools of yesterday to provide solutions for the challenges of today. The goal was to create a space that felt more like a market, warm, welcoming, and dignified, where people could choose their food rather than simply receive it. It was about restoring choice, pride, and respect, turning a transactional process into a human-centered experience. As we worked through the renovation, it became clear that simply expanding the space wasn't enough. Barriers to access remained, and the sheer scale of the need was growing. And that's when the food team pushed us to dream bigger. They said, we'll never have enough food to meet the need, but what if we used it as a tool? It's a simple idea, but transformative. Food for a way to bring neighbors together, strengthen connections, and build community. I listened, trusted the team, and gave them room to innovate. Because when people are empowered to dream, it's incredible the things that can happen. Our team shared how food is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath it are the challenges of connection, culture, belonging, hope. And so the team asked, how can we use food to help? Out of that came the Neighborhood Food Program. Instead of only distributing food, we could create spaces across the whole community where neighbors connected, shared culture, and supported one another. This blew the old saying of, well, this is better than nothing, completely out of the water. The vision was rooted in our values. It was using coming together under a common humanity to break down barriers and support one another. Food is needed for survival, but so is community. I'm so proud of our team. We went from one warehouse, 807 Guelph Street, to weekly food distributions in 7 neighborhoods, connecting thousands of people weekly. But the real impact isn't measured in hampers or pounds of food. It's in the dignity restored, the relationships built, and the sense of belonging that grows with every conversation, every meal, every smile. I wish I could take credit for the brilliance of using food as a tool, but the truth is, leadership is about listening and building a space around you for incredible people to dream boldly. The team did exactly that. They turned a warehouse into a movement, a food line into a gathering place, and a simple meal into a source of dignity and belonging. That's the kind of impact that lasts, impact that radiates throughout communities and is felt for generations. That is what 86 years of history is built from.
Hi, my name is Claire Wagner. I'm the Community Services Director. Food has always been a part of what House of Friendship has done. It's been core to how we serve people, and I think everybody who has been part of the House of Friendship journey from the founding till now has understood that food is more than food. It is a tool of connection.
Food attracts us all and brings us together. This is an opportunity for them to come out of their house to connect with other people.
All of our food comes as donations from the community. We work closely with the food bank, but we also have farmers as well as churches and individual families, and people come in and donate all the time, which is honestly very amazing, and we can do without that.
We know that when people come to us, often they have to put their dignity aside. To me, the choice that people make to then come to our door is an act of hope.
Knowing that we're here, a stable force in the community, we're providing hope, because a lot of times people don't know where to go.
I had a great colleague who helped me sort of understand in other countries where the safety net like this doesn't exist, you can afford food or you may not survive. And that was just this eye-opening moment. Sometimes it's about statistics. Yes, poverty is bigger than this. And yes, there are people who are food insecure who don't use these programs. And yes, I would really love for others to step up and ensure that people have their basic needs met. And I am so glad that people have this option. They know we're here to wrap around them and that we know that we can support them, and that so many times there's also a relationship built.
I remember my first real look at neighborhood work on my listening tour, walking through Sunnydale with Linda Kruger. At that time, I didn't fully understand what community development meant, but being there, seeing life unfold, it became clear. This work is about creating safe, welcoming spaces where neighbors can connect, families can raise their children, and communities can strengthen one another. Inside that small townhouse, I saw something that has stayed with me forever. Neighbors from different countries and cultures baking muffins together around one table. The smells, the laughter, the shared work. It was so simple, yet so profound. These families didn't choose to live side by side. But despite challenges, differences, past hardships, what came through was something deeply human: connection, care, and belonging. Over time, I realized that we all want the same things: to feed our families, nurture our children, and belong. Everything else that divides us, language, culture, politics, religion, melts away when we focus on what unites us. The essence of this is displayed in Catherine Gitzel and the Gathering Church. They first came to rent a gym at Chandler Mowat for a Sunday service, but once they were there, they never left. They became part of the heartbeat of the neighborhood, not to preach, not to help, but to walk alongside. They become leaders, mentors, volunteers, and partners, helping run programs like Snack Attack and supporting families and created spaces of belonging for children and neighbors of every faith and background. They could have just rented the space and then went on their way each Sunday, but they didn't. And that's what community looks like when love becomes action. Even in the toughest times, the community reminded us why this work matters. But we saw the need for deeper connection and stability across our neighborhood programs. For years, funding was unpredictable. Some programs thrived, while others struggled. Then in 2018, we saw our opportunity to change that. The region of Waterloo was restructuring the family outreach program that had been divided among 11 organizations, and it would now be led by one, to ensure fairness and equity for every family. Our team poured their hearts into that proposal, drawing on decades of trust and connection built in neighborhoods like Sunnydale, Cortland Shelley, Chandler Mowat, and Kingsdale. I believed we were chosen because we were already embedded. We weren't just in the community, we were of it. We had been walking alongside our community in many ways since 1939. But that moment changed everything for our community services. With 16 outreach workers across the region, we could now connect with families from every neighborhood, listening to their needs, walking beside them through hardship, and helping them find the supports they deserve. We were able to have larger impact, helping to change the odds for families, not through quick fixes, but through buffers, meaningful relationships, consistent support, and belief that everyone deserves a chance to thrive. Has anyone ever heard me talk about buffers in this room? And as our community continues to grow, projected to reach 1 million people by 2050, so does our responsibility and opportunity to meet its evolving needs. Leading House of Friendship for the past 16 years has been incredibly healing. Journey for me. That little immigrant boy who once felt invisible has witnessed firsthand the power of belonging, the way care and connection can transform lives. And now, through our first ever funding agreement with the IRCC, Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada, we are now recognized as a settlement agency. This federal commitment is continuing to extend our same hope, supporting newcomers as they build their lives here in Waterloo Region, helping them feel seen, welcomed, and part of a community that cares. This is more than funding. This is the continuation of decades of work that believes in people, in dignity, and in the human capacity to thrive when given the chance. Across our neighborhoods, community centers, and outreach programs, we plant seeds. They grow quietly, invisibly at first, but over time they flourish. Children laugh and play safely, families support one another, neighbors lift each other up. This is the legacy we carry forward together, alive in every story, connection, and life we touch.
Hi, my name is Claire Wagner. I am the Community Services Director here at House of Friendship. Today, we're talking about our work in neighborhoods. The neighborhoods work is the most joyful of the work. There's just something so special because the outcome of neighborhoods is relationships. The facility that we're in here, it used to be just people connecting with others in housing units and then working alongside partners, bringing attention to like, hey, there's actually need here. We need spaces where like community rooms and a gym and a kitchen and all of these assets. And that all came from people advocating for it.
The importance of our programs and to keep them going is because it really allows community members to feel a sense of belonging. They're able to build partnerships and connections. All of these things help to enrich them as an individual and also help to enrich their experience within community.
The neighborhoods work is the most easy to feel hopeful in. We work alongside folks who choose to serve in these communities, who are from these communities. And we're stewards of these spaces and programs, right? They're not ours. We are in 7 different community centers. We are actually serving the whole region. Our family outreach team works in every neighborhood in the region of Waterloo.
Several years ago, I started to work with a mother who was a newcomer to Canada, also experiencing domestic abuse. At the time, the mother believed that she will never be able to speak English, she will never be able to get employed, she will never be able to drive, which was her dream, or to be independent. In our one-on-one meetings, I was planting the seeds and inviting her to conversations. Slowly, the mother built confidence. She got accepted and enrolled in the PSW program. She's also driving. She is fully independent.
It's the heart, you know, we're stronger together.
Our housing story begins with a gift. In 1939, Dr. Marshall Bingaman, the new owner of a dairy business, gave part of his building on King Street to House of Friendship. How many of you went to Kitchener Dairies? There's a few of you. Come on, you're older than you. Anyways, it was small, humble, but full of heart, offering meals, shelter, and support. But as our community grew, so did the need. By the mid-1950s, dozens and hundreds of men had slept at House of Friendship. And so to meet that growing demand, we expanded, moving to Charles Street East, which would become the heart of our housing initiatives for decades that continues to this day. I remember in 2015, as the synthetic drug crisis gripped our community, too many people had nowhere to go. And having to turn them away at doors broke our hearts. We picked up the phone and we called St. Matthew's Church. Could they open their doors over the winter? Could they offer a safe space for people to sleep? And they said yes. And just like that, the church became a refuge. Or 5 years later, on March 19th, 2020, when Peter Sweeney, CEO of the YMCA at the time, emailed these simple 4 words, "How can we help?" We have people and buildings. A week later, the Kaufman Y was a shelter. Time and time again, our community proves that we have what we have always known. When we come together with compassion, dignity, and a belief that everyone deserves a chance, ordinary acts become extraordinary. It was the same spirit of compassion that sparked the vision for Shelter Care. In 2014, we visited Shepherds of Good Hope in Ottawa. I'll never forget walking through their shelter and the police dropped off a participant who was highly intoxicated, and seeing the staff move with such care and humanity. They knew his name, his medical history, and immediately created a space where he felt safe, known, and respected. It was powerful. We knew our region needed this. It was love thy neighbor in action. Reimagined for today's world of complexity, synthetic drugs, trauma, and systemic barriers. With Shelter Care, we could support the whole person, not just their crisis. We could build trust, healing, and hope. But with all big ideas comes red tape. It was a large-scale idea with risk, large investment needed, and our community to come together at all levels to bring the vision to life. And as my friend Deirdre from Shepherds reminded me, yes, there will be hurdles, but where there is collective will, incredible things will happen. Where there is collective will, incredible things will happen. And that collective will showed up in our team, in our donors, in civic leaders, elected officials, and in the community itself. I'll never forget January 12th, 2022. The day we went public with the Comfort Inn project, the future home of Shelter Care at 190 Weber Street. Within half an hour of the announcement, I received an email from a neighbor. I braced myself, expecting pushback. But what I read next created one of the most heartfelt moments of my career. The email read,
Dear John, I'm a resident on McKay, a hop, skip, and a jump from the Comfort Inn on Weber Street. I want to say how happy my husband and I are to hear the news that the shelter is moving to our neighborhood. Our son passed away from overdose just 10 days ago. Another son passed away 8 years ago from overdose. We have a special place in our hearts for those with mental health and substance issues, and we have compassion for their challenges. You will likely face some resistance to this news. However, I am pleased to advocate for this move to our community. I just want you to know that myself and other parents I am connected with who have had similar losses will support House of Friendship and do what we can to help educate others who may struggle with fear and concern. If you will be creating any form of committee or task force, or if there will be any community forums, I would be happy to be part of these. Although this is bittersweet news, having just lost my son and the real struggle to find supports, I'm always excited when steps are taken to help the vulnerable.
That message stopped me in my tracks. It erased 2 years of stress and worry in a single moment. Because it reminded me that at our core, we are a community that leads with empathy. By the way, that neighbor is now a colleague at Shelter Care, helping so many other individuals and families. Time and time again, the people of Waterloo Region have shown up for one another. From the Bingaman's Gift in 1939 to many faith communities, neighbors, advocates, donors, community partners, elected officials, and friends. Our story has never been about buildings. It's been about people, about what happens when compassion takes action, when hope takes root, and when neighbors refuse to look away. And Friendship Village was born from that compassion. We knew shelter care was the first step, not the last. Our buildings at Charles Street had served their purpose for decades, but they were outdated and they no longer reflected the realities of today. Our community was facing a new kind of crisis, a growing gap between homelessness and housing. And so through many conversations, we realized we had a responsibility to make our property more impactful for today's realities. And Friendship Village became our answer. A place that bridges the gap between emergency shelter and market rent with the supports people need, not to survive, but to thrive. Friendship Village brings it all together through wraparound care and community, rooted in the belief that everyone deserves not just a roof, but belonging. Our journey started in housing, and I'm proud of how that foundation has carried us forward. From a single room on King Street to Friendship Village, every step guided by the same purpose, to love our neighbors and build a community where everyone can thrive.
What I'm most proud of is we're doing things differently when the old ways of doing things aren't working for this current population. My name is Jennifer Scott. I am the housing director here at House of Friendship. 6 years ago, we really launched a vision for how we could do shelter differently. 2.5 years ago, we saw this vision come to life with our shelter care program, and we are now operating a 24/7 shelter that has healthcare integrated into it. Having the stability that shelter care provides is a great step, ensuring that someone, when they come into our supportive housing, are able to build community, build trust. We are downtown Kitchener at our Charles Street campus. This is what will be Friendship Village. Here is EB Village. Charles Village is this smaller one right here, and right behind me is Cedar Village. The intention here is that we're building a community, or we're building a village, that as people stabilize in their housing and their health, they're able to move from one building to another while remaining in the community.
I think it's important to know that we are stabilizing individuals within our community for them to come out on the other side, an improved, healthier version of themselves. Last year in the summer, a participant had an idea for a basketball tournament. Winning team got to compete against WRPS. It was so much fun. We definitely work together with participants too to formulate the programming.
What gives me hope when things are challenging is running into Will. He tells me about his next radio gig and how he's going to get House of Friendship on the map. And John, who wrote a note for every person who helped along the way because he was just so grateful for the support. Or it's Sam, who is a local artist, and the day before he left, he made sure to tell me, I will paint a mural anywhere, anytime for you guys because this program changed my life. It's all of these small moments that just really provide purpose in why we're here.
As I stand here tonight, looking back on these stories, our work in addiction treatment, food, neighborhoods, and housing, I'm reminded that every step has taught me something about who we are and who we can be when we choose to walk along beside one another. In addiction treatment, I've learned that restoring dignity is the first step to restoring lives. In food, I've learned that creating spaces for connection rather than transaction can nourish hope and build belonging. In our neighborhoods, I've learned that when people have buffers against hardship, we change the odds, not just for one family or child, but for an entire community. And in housing, I've learned that bold ideas come to life through collective will. Over the years, speaking with the people we serve has reminded me of how incredibly thin the line is between those we serve and myself. I have to be honest, when I first started, I thought the line was pretty thick. But any one of us here tonight could find ourselves on the other side of the line. And I hope that keeps us grounded in our shared humanity. Our guiding call, love thy neighbor, has never changed. What has changed is how we live it out. In 1939, it meant offering a warm meal and a place to sleep. In 2025, it means providing integrated healthcare, wraparound supports, and connection to community in ways that our humble founders never dreamed of. Because compassion, inclusion, justice, dignity, and hope are not just our values, but our collective way of being. Over these 86 years, House of Friendship has reflected the best of Waterloo Region, a community that shows up time and time again with courage, care, and commitment. And I have no doubt that long after tonight, that same spirit will carry us forward for the next 86 years. One of the most profound and deepest honors and privileges of my life has been working with the incredible leadership team at House of Friendship that drives this organization forward. Every day I got to watch them dream boldly, take risks with heart, and turn challenges into possibilities. I wish everyone could feel their passion. It's the kind of energy that makes you believe, like I do, that the best is yet to come. And I know where they lead us next, our community will be stronger for it. If I've learned anything as CEO, it's that leadership is not about doing it alone. It's about using the soil to plant the seeds. And Waterloo Region is good soil. I may have helped to plant a few seeds, but you, our neighbors, our partners, our donors, our elected officials, our team members, our volunteers, you are the soil. You are what makes compassion take root. You're what allows hope to grow. You're what allows and turns love into action. And for that, for walking beside us, for believing in this work, for embodying what it means to be a true community, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because our story, the story of House of Friendship, has always been and always will be stronger together. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Have you ever found that finding the right page after something like that is really hard to do? Thank you, John. Thank you again for your words tonight and for all that you have contributed to this organization. As I look around this room, I'm reminded that House of Friendship is not defined by any single person. It is defined by decades of dedication, compassion, and vision from countless people who have cared for this community. From the very beginning, our founders dreamed of a place where neighbors could support neighbors. That dream has been carried forward year after year by every leader, every volunteer, every team member, every supporter. While walking through the House of Friendship Museum when you arrived, you've seen it for yourself. Our organization's story shows the many leaders who have each left their mark, building the foundation for the next chapter. John is one of those remarkable leaders, someone who has strengthened the foundation with his heart, vision, and unwavering belief in what this community can accomplish together. There is so much happening behind the scenes. Innovative projects, new ideas, and exciting initiatives that continue to grow and evolve each and every day. The work of House of Friendship is carried forward by this community that believes in hope, dignity, and inclusion. That is why tonight is also about looking forward with great excitement. The next chapter is already being written, and we have every confidence that the mission, values, and legacy John has helped shape will continue to thrive stronger than ever. But I know you're probably wondering who will lead House of Friendship into this next chapter. The truth is, the future of this organization is not the responsibility of any single individual. It belongs to all of us. The dedicated board of directors, the incredible leaders and staff across all of the programs, the volunteers who give so generously of their time, and each and every one of you who believe in and support our shared mission. Together, we are the heartbeat of House of Friendship. This evening is a celebration, but also an invitation to be part of what comes next, to continue walking alongside our community, building on the legacy we share, and shaping the dream of our future together. But of course, every community, no matter how vibrant, also needs a leader, someone who will guide us, inspire us, and help turn those ideas and this energy into action. Tonight, it is my great privilege to introduce the person who will take on that role and lead House of Friendship into the next chapter. Please join me in congratulating Jennifer Scott, our incoming Chief Executive Officer. This is fine right here. So, Jen has been part of House of Friendship for the past 8 years, bringing her calm, steady, and forward-looking leadership to every role she has held. From leading our volunteer program to managing shelter care, and most recently, as you saw, serving as housing director. Jen has always approached her work with both heart and vision. She has a deep commitment to continuous improvement and a passion for creating systems that work better for participants, partners, and the broader community. Jen's leadership is rooted in compassion and collaboration, inspiring those around her to imagine new and better ways to serve. The Board of Directors conducted a thoughtful and equitable process ensuring fairness and integrity in selecting our next leader. We are confident that Jen, having grown with House of Friendship and earned the respect of her colleagues, is the right person to guide us into the future. As a board, we look forward to seeing Jen build on the strong foundation and that has brought us here, leading House of Friendship into its next chapter of service, innovation, and impact. To mark this special moment, I'd like to invite both Jen and John Neufeld to join me on stage for a symbolic passing of the keys. So, John will pass our large key to Jen, a key that carries a part of House of Friendship's logo and comes from our Shelter Care Project, our largest and most innovative initiative. This key is a symbol of trust, leadership, and continuity. It represents the handoff of guidance, responsibility, and the shared mission that continues to grow with each new chapter. What a great way to celebrate this moment of transition and the promise of all that is yet to come. As we come to the close of tonight's friendship dinner, I want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you. Your love, care, and commitment have filled this room with an incredible sense of community, and for that, our hearts are truly full. To our incredible sponsors, thank you. And forgive me, I got so excited when this evening started that I neglected to recognize Ginkgo Ridge leaves. So please, please forgive me for that error. Thank you. I know you will. That's why we talk about community and all those great things. Your generosity makes evenings like this possible, and more importantly, it directly supports the most vulnerable in our community. From our presenting sponsor to all of our Transform, Inspire, Hope, and community sponsors, and every partner who has contributed in countless ways, we are truly grateful. And as we leave here tonight, let us carry forward the spirit of community, compassion, and hope that fills this room. Together, we are making a difference. And together, we will continue to build a brighter future for all. Good night, everyone. Thank you.